Janet Martinez with Hollywood First Look Features, and today I'm chatting with Geraldine Viswanathan and Dacre Montgomery, who play Lucy and Nick in the Broken Hearts Gallery. All right, so Aussies in rom-coms. I love to see it so much. So I want to hear from each one of you. What was the first rom-com you fell in love with? How old were you? Tell me about it all. Geraldine, we'll start with you.
Ooh. I really obsessed with this romantic comedy called Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. You know this one?
Yeah.
British. When I was like 14, my best friend and I just became obsessed with it and thought that those English guys were the hottest people in the world, and watched it at every sleepover. And that character was such a, you know, she was so relatable and kooky, and I think that was my first rom-com love.
Dacre?
Yeah, I literally hadn't, like, I'd seen a lot, but I think actually the most kind of formative one for me was I don't know why I hadn't seen it, but Love Actually, my partner showed me like 2.5 years ago over Christmas, and that has subsequently become an absolute favorite, and we'll constantly recite stuff and lines from the film, so that's kind of nice.
I am a rom-com junkie. I love so many of them, and I do love a funny love story, as I like to call it, because I think that sometimes rom-com gets a bad rap, and I don't even know why. But I love When Harry Met Sally was probably the first, but Bridget Jones' Diary, Clueless in its own way has some of that stuff. I am a big fan of the old school ones. His Girl Friday is one of my all-time favorites. It Happened One Night is just iconic. Broadcast News. So I'm all over the map, but you know, show me a rom-com and I'll tell you the greatest things about it.
Lucy, do you think you want to try getting out of bed today?
We're getting smell complaints from the city.
You have said that this is an ode to your own female friendships. What do you think is the most important part about having those strong, amazing female friendships?
The characters of Amanda and Nadine, who are Lucy's like ride or dies. You know, listen, I think that they offer tough love, but they never stop supporting their friend. And I think that that's the kind of family, like makeshift family structures that you make when you move to big cities, New York or LA or wherever you end up setting up your life in your 20s, where you're kind of forging your own bonds. So for me and my girlfriends, it's like we're very harsh with one another, but that doesn't mean that we would ever undercut or undermine one another. It's a constant, there's love there. So that's sort of what I find with them.
You guys have this wonderful moment where you're moving a couch through New York City, which is insane, and it looks so fun. So I want you to each tell me about a time that you did something kind of crazy, spontaneous, with a special someone. Dacre, we'll start with you.
Oh God, that's a good question. My special someone's not sitting too far away. I don't know. I think for me, sort of even just the first date with my partner, you know, kind of took a risk and drove her around and picked her up from her house, and she hadn't met me. I hadn't met her, obviously, and so she was taking a risk as well. And I think, I mean, obviously it went really well, but I think, you know, risks are important in the sense of, like, especially if you like someone, you know, you got to voice that. I think a lot of the time, a lot of people don't, you know, and it kind of just washes over. Or if you go on one date and then you're kind of like, I really like them, but you wait for them. I think sometimes you gotta, you know, like investigate it, see where it could go.
I flew to Japan for a day to see my boyfriend right before we started filming, actually. I hadn't seen him in months, and he was in Japan, and I just made a quick stop, and that was kind of because I asked him, I was like, have I done anything romantic? And he was like, probably that. Like, that was a big ask just for one day.
When love crumbles, how do you preserve its ruins?
Why don't you leave it here?
What? No.
Come on.
No, I can't do that.
Just let go.
No. It's really okay.
Sure. It'll be okay.
Okay.
This movie is so much about healing and feeling all those feelings after heartbreak, but just healing after that. And I want to know from you, what are those things that help you heal? You like candles, bubble baths? What is it for you? Geraldine, we'll start with you.
All of that. I'm a big self-care to the max, just like bath and a face mask and wine and music and ice cream, burgers, just any kind of comfort food. I'll eat all of it, and I'll talk to my friends. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think home and space is so important. Like your energy in your home and your sort of feng shui and like everything about the space is so important. I think for me, like, I don't know, writing. I don't know, I'm very big on just like writing a stream of consciousness, having a long shower, like all that sort of stuff that's oddly, you know, kind of therapeutic, I think is important.
I love that. That's great to hear. Thank you both so much for chatting with me. Broken Hearts Gallery is now in theaters. I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez with Hollywood First Look Features, and I'll see you next time.